Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it's just a small little snippet. A lot of the enthusiasm, not sure where it came from, a lot of the enthusiasm within the cryptocurrency space has begun to lightly resurface. A lot of people are saying that just below 40,000 seems to be the trend line, and they don't expect prices to fall much lower than that. There were a couple of people who were talking about a $30,000 Bitcoin. A couple of days ago, I told you there were people discussing a $22,000 Bitcoin. I don't know if it's a shift in sentiment. I don't know if it's simply people, maybe someone had a discussion with Grayscale. Like, I honestly don't know. But a lot of people are saying that when there is a movement back up, it is going to be quite swift and quite intense. A lot of people are still, I don't know what they're, who they're hanging out with, but a lot of people are still calling for the $100,000 Bitcoin before the halving. We'll see exactly how that goes, but it was funny looking around today to see a number of articles that were very optimistic about the price. A lot of people on Twitter have also lightly shifted as well. There's a kind of I'm just going to buy the dip. I'm going to make sure to accumulate. I even saw, listen, don't go too far, but I saw a couple of people even thanking Grayscale for being like, oh, I wanted lower prices again so I could buy more. So I hope a lot of you have had your fill. But yeah, this video is going to be, dare I say, completely all over the place. The news is, I guess, newsy today. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. We did get some nice information as well, which I like numbers, so this makes makes things a little bit easier, because the last numbers we had were not this significant or anywhere near what these numbers are actually proposing. It says in 2023, the global cryptocurrency community witnessed a remarkable surge, with the number of cryptocurrency owners soaring by an impressive 34%, from apparently 432 million people in January to a staggering $580 million by December of last year. The number that's often quoted is the around 100 million people who are actually into Bitcoin. We usually don't get an all-encompassing number. We did many years ago when we had people guesstimating how many people they believed were actually in the market. Sometimes it was anywhere between 200, maybe 300,000 people. You know that I don't want to say the word complain, so I'll say unplain. Not a word, but you understand. Quite often that I want more people to actually be in the market. I think it's a gigantic shame to continuously hear that the institutions are rushing to the market, but then to not see the, I believe, millions, hundreds of millions, if not billions of people who could actually benefit and maybe even prosper from actually being within the cryptocurrency market, as it is still incredibly new. So to hear that, according to the numbers, that we at the moment have more than 500 million people on the planet, which also only makes me a little bit more angry that Gary Gensler took that long. Makes me a bit annoyed, because I remember around the time I was for those of you who weren't here, thank your lucky stars, it was a very annoying time, and I was saying it's annoying that Gary Gensler has the attention of 100 million people who are waiting for this actual ETF to be approved, and lo and behold, it's 500 million people. So I hope he's quite pleased with himself. This insight was unveiled by the website Crypto, And they have something called a crypto sizing report. Not the greatest name. They could have done better, but okay. And it proves crucial for the finance market. I wouldn't use those words. I mean, just being completely intense there. Ether, not to be outdone, witnessed a significant 39% surge in ownership, soaring from 89 million people to an impressive 124 million people over the course of a year. That's absolutely incredible as well. I like seeing these numbers. I want more people to be in the market. I want more people to understand that they can enter the market. This is what's also heavily frustrating whenever we get news about India and them trying to make sure that no one in their country can use crypto, and cryptocurrency exchanges are closing there. And how many other countries that we just don't speak about on a daily basis because they don't have 1.5 billion people within their borders who could be in the cryptocurrency market, but their governments continue to be governmenty. The driving force, they say, behind ETH's growth was the introduction of liquid staking after the Shanghai upgrade. I don't know if that was actually it. I mean, it could have very well be, but I don't really feel that we'd get, 35 million people rushing into Ethereum just because they can liquid stake. Maybe I'm not really sure about those numbers, but I have a feeling it's more of as people enter the market, they kind of look for, you have two different types of investors. Forgive me here. No, three. You have three. You have those who enter a market and they kind of buy whatever they can, thinking that they're going to become relatively rich. You have those in the middle who tend to buy what you would call penny stocks or penny crypto. They realize or see that Bitcoin's price is too high. They have no real concept of trying to buy Satoshis. This was something years ago that no one talks about anymore. It's called crypto vanity. And it's the idea that around 2017 and 2018, some of the coins that became really popular were XRP. Cardano wasn't out then. Whatever coins were out back then that had, they were worth 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1. If you had $1,000 to be able to invest, there was a major difference in you going to your coworkers the next day and telling them, I own 0.14 Bitcoin, as opposed to saying, oh, that coin, yeah, I have 14,000 of them. It has a different weight to it. So you have a lot of people who get into the market and they look for things like that. They want to be able to say that they have a large portion of a coin. So they'll go for the Trons, they go for the Cardano. Not that these are bad choices. I mean, except for Tron, it's literal garbage. But you get what I mean. They'll go for the XRPs and stuff like that to be able to mathematically have more of a coin, as opposed to saying, well, I only have 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Doesn't have the same ring to it. And then the third group of people are the people who get in and they Google and look up what the blue chip cryptocurrencies are. So I think that's that rush into the market. There are a lot of people who, regardless of what the other coins might do, they do. And there are a lot of people, especially when looking for stocks and ETFs, they look for the aristocrats. They look for the actual blue chips. They look for these really heavy weighted things that show the most potential of having an excessive amount of longevity. And the two at the very top, at least at the moment, appear to be Ethereum and Bitcoin. So this is why you mainly see people rushing into Bitcoin. It's a household name. Number two is going to get a lot of attention as well. If you have a coin that is 2,000 something or odd dollars and people are talking about a $18,000, $20,000, $22,000 coin. This is also, what's that other thing? We were talking about it about a week or two ago. I can't remember anymore. It's the concept of the more expensive that something is, the more that certain people will want it. So in the idea of you have people who love to buy bags or shoes, what have you, and they will like more the idea of having a bunch of bags that are $10, $15, and then you also have shoes as well. You have multiples of them, but then you have people who just kind of want to go to the anyway. The point is, yes. I can't remember the name of the concept, but it has to do. People were talking about it in regards to Bitcoin and how Bitcoin over the years will become even more popular because it'll be it'll have that status to it that only the wealthy own it. he has an entire Bitcoin. That is impossible for billions of other people. Therefore, he will be regarded higher than other people. It says this upgrade enabled staked ETH to be withdrawn after the transition to proof of stake, establishing a robust foundation for Ethereum's expansions. Standout months for both Ether and Bitcoin were apparently April and May. I don't remember what happened then. Boasting exceptionally strong monthly growth rates of 5.1 and 6.7% respectively. Cool. I like having these numbers. I like knowing that there's more people than just BlackRock and like 30 employees who are getting into the space. These coins are for us. They're for the masses. And to constantly hear that institutions, for those of you who missed it, apparently the news is that the ETF makers, suppliers, now hold over 100,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, I know I stutter sometimes, but I did not stutter then. Over 100,000 Bitcoin is just held by these few companies just within their ETFs now. So, you know, we need more normal people getting into the market so they can also benefit as well. That's the new people in the market news. And yeah, well, let's move on. In what's is everyone okay? News. So for some reason, a large portion of the news over the course of the last 3 days, I give it a good 3 days, has for some reason been about Litecoin's halving. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says estimated time remaining is 1,307 days. Do you want to know why it says that? Because we just had a Litecoin halving. I don't know why this has gotten into the news. Why, for some reason, everyone's talking about literally, no. There are articles talking about Litecoin's upcoming halving, as if it is like a day and a half after Bitcoin's next one in April. Not sure where it's coming from. I don't know. You know how and I know a lot of you know this. In the States, if you've never been to the States before, if you ever go, or if you are there, you know how it's August and you walk into a store and they already have stuff for Thanksgiving. And then by the time you get to the middle of September, you start seeing Christmas stuff to buy in stores. And then by the time you get to late December, certain stores will have Valentine's Day stuff. It's that kind of feeling in crypto. And I said it before when we just got the Bitcoin ETFs. The day after, people were talking about XRP ETFs and Ethereum ETFs, and this was going to happen. And I'm like, why can't we just stay today? Why does everything have to be a gigantic jump forward to the next crazy event? But this one took the cake. I'm not sure why there were articles literally talking about Litecoin's having a countdown. This is years and years and years away. It literally says 23rd of August, 2027. So anyway, that's the Litecoin halving news. I'm not sure how we got here as a people, but that's just the news right now. And yeah, let's move on. Also in extremely, the word's not popular, but kind of all over the place news. If you've watched this channel for a while, this isn't something that's really spoken about by other channels. I'm not sure if they think it'll scare people off. A lot of other channels are very smooth and kind of unrigid, and they're there to kind of make you feel safe and complete and loved and all these other things. And this is why I told you, if you want that kind of channel, this isn't going to be it. I'm going to tell you exactly what the weird news is, no matter how ridiculous it is. I'm not here to make you feel good about any crappy coins that you might be holding. One of the main issues from a number of years ago, which isn't spoken about, especially across multiple other crypto exchanges anymore, is the idea of dirty coins. When coins are mined, there are people who like to buy them from companies or people who are mining them the moment that they are mined because they have no transactions on them. As we continue to see an egregious amount of regulatory scrutiny on the cryptocurrency space, the general idea is, especially coins from years ago, is that if at some point in 2012 these coins were used for an activity online that a government may have deemed illegal or whatever. I was going to use the word gross, but I don't think they're like these transactions are gross. So like a weird transaction. As that coin or coins continue to pass through the ecosystem, they end up being marked sometimes, like a digital marking. And years ago, if you tried, and still now, if you tried to put them onto Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini, they would flag your transaction as, we saw that something allegedly illicit happened with this coin in 2012. And therefore, in 2024, you tried to deposit it onto our website. Can you tell us where you got these coins from? Because they would assume that down the line, you might have been the person for the illicit activity who's now trying to sell them off, believing that people simply forgot. But no, all these things this is why we have Chainalysis and Sentiment. They do on-chain investigation. So a lot of times we get news of how many people there are in crypto, or how many coins were moved here, or look at the prospectus for prices to move up. But their main thing is like to check through the chains to try and see which transactions might be illicit. Then came the idea of mixing coins. So let's say it's me and 99 of you. We all have dirty coins. Our coins, for some reason, in the last 5, 6, 7 years have been involved in things that we weren't involved in, but we I don't want to have to deal with this dirty coin anymore. Basically, you would throw it into something called a mixer, and imagine me stirring the pot as many times as possible, and I tell all of you to reach inside the pot and take out a coin. That coin would be new to you, and essentially lightly, in the most easiest way of explaining it, wouldn't be attached to those other transactions anymore. Air quotes. That's kind of the generalized idea. As you might have imagined, maybe you didn't because you probably are a normal person. Governments don't like this at all. They want to know where everything is, what everything has been doing, where, every single bit of transactional information for everything. And it just becomes this situation where it's can we just please have a normal society at some point where things aren't dramatic and crazy every single day? So recently, cryptocurrency exchanges have come under a large amount of scrutiny for actually allowing transactions that may be deemed illicit / transactions that may have been involved with a mixer onto their platform. And this is where we currently are right now. So I said it's not popular per se. It's just very much spoken about as we move into this world where things are becoming far more digitized. More apparently, hundreds million more people are getting into the cryptocurrency space more and more. And instead of being well, that transaction was only for $15, governments are no, I want to know exactly where those coins came from, who had them first, why they're being used, and why they were mixed. And it's can we just have a normal day? Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase has voiced concerns over the U.S. Treasury's proposed regulations regarding crypto mixing, stating that they fail to address regulatory gaps adequately and impose unnecessary data and resource burdens on crypto platforms. They basically, for those of you who don't know, banks and governments want all your information. That's not half of a joke. They want all of it. So this is why a lot of times you may have heard or seen the news that there may be a situation where the government is going after Facebook or Twitter, and they're hey, we want information. You are obligated to give it to them. I mean, you can give them hurdles if you want, but eventually they're going to have the information. And it's usually about user data and what people are doing. So they wait years for these companies to accumulate data on their users. And then at some point the government goes, oh yeah, we happen to need it. So they're basically I didn't even know the word, just grabbing as much data as possible from everyone. The issue is they're doing it, of course, in crypto, of course, because it has to do with money. But they want every single fragment of data. And now the crypto exchanges have already been accumulating everyone's data. Everything you do, everything you write, it's all there. Every message you wrote to them, et cetera, et cetera. But now the US Treasury wants even more information. In a formal comment submitted to the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Networks, or FinCEN, Coinbase argued that regulated crypto platforms are already subject to strict record keeping and reporting rules concerning suspicious activities and illicit crypto mixing. Coinbase particularly criticized the proposed requirement for crypto platforms to report all crypto mixing activities, including those with legitimate purposes. The exchange believes that such a broad reporting mandate is an inefficient use of the company's resources. They don't care. Governments don't actually care if something is inefficient. You want to hear the craziest thing in the entire world? And this is how I know the world is weird. As far as like efficiency or like being able to get it done in a simpler manner or even for less money, that it benefits everyone in some sort of way. There's a news story. Maybe you can find it. This has to be 5, 6, 7 years at this point. There was a community of older individuals who had to like travel down a mountain, and traveling down this mountain, it was like that street in San Francisco, like it's super curvy. And people had to take a long time with their canes and stuff like that to get down this hill, this road. I forgot where it was. It was somewhere. I want to say it's in the States. Took them a long time to get down there to be able to get to the end of the mountain. So there was a guy who was a carpenter. He came forward for the community and was like, I can build us some stairs. So as like a path directly down like the center of everything, he literally, before you got to the road, he built like wooden stairs, like very well made wooden stairs. He chopped the wood, he like cut it up, he like measured all of it, and he made these stairs. They were, I mean, I wouldn't call stairs beautiful, but they looked like nice stairs. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to walk on those stairs, like that kind of thing. Perfect. Worked out very well. Because he had not been contracted by the local government himself, the stairs were destroyed after like weeks of people using them and having no problems with them. And then the government hired someone to do the exact same measurements that he did, the exact same job that he did before. And then I think the local government had to pay $600,000 for all of the work that this guy did for free. See, it's this kind of like really weird, like why is everything so inefficient? Why is it? I don't know why. And I mean, a guy building some wooden stairs isn't like futuristic by any means, but I don't understand why we still live under like so many old rules, why the SEC's like laws are literally from the 1920s. That's 100 years ago. Also weird to think that like we're living through the 20s. So at some point, there are going to be people from the 50s who are like, you lived in the 20s? Terrible thought to think about. Anyway, yeah, so this was all over the place news because whenever Coinbase screams, everyone else also has to scream with them. But we're in this situation where like things don't have to be this ridiculous, but I think these always feel like, I think governments around the world are not only, I don't want to say afraid of crypto, but I think they're trying to do whatever they can to make sure that while they don't have control over the creation of the coins, that they still can have information on all the transactions and where they think things are going. But it's splitting hairs to the point where years ago, the idea of moving around 50K was scary. And then it became 10K. And then in some places it's 5,000. And now there are certain governments who are like, if you move more than 1,000, they want to know. And it's like, you want to know when I'm buying a TV? You want to know when I'm taking a bath? Like, what's the, like, it's very, very frustrating. So, yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. The governments of the world are still trying to make have like a blanket set of cryptocurrency regulations at the moment, like that literally kind of just wrap around the world. We could have gotten there a long time ago. Just make it the same exact thing as the banking sector, but for some reason, crypto like really terrifies them. So they want like an explicit detail of every single bit of information of everything that's happening in every single place. That's why I rose the red flag when we heard that PayPal was integrating crypto. So if you take that crypto on or off, they know exactly where you had moved it to before. And same exact thing with MetaMask integrating Visa and MasterCard for crypto payments. I'm like, they'll have your information. So it's all these little things. Like there's no more. Anyway, That's the Coinbase's response to FinCEN news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in what? Oh, there we go. In sure. Why not news? Genesis Cat, a digital piece of art created on the Bitcoin blockchain, was recently sold for over $250,000 at Sotheby's auction. I believe this is the image right here. For those of you who are unaware, I told people last year, because a lot of people for some reason thought NFTs had disappeared or faded away. NFTs are still going quite strong, especially amongst art collectors. And I don't mean like just crypto art. I mean like really big art collectors. And around November, I also showed you a number of articles that national galleries and national museums around the world are now also beginning to accumulate NFTs as well. Is mainly for the provenance, to be able to say when something was created by which artist, like it's on chain forever and can't be faked, as certificates of authenticity can be faked. Provenance for a piece of art on a blockchain cannot. The other really interesting part is that Sotheby's and Christie's have really taken the lead, and they're doing a lot of cryptocurrency blockchain based sales. So I believe I think it was around 2 weeks ago where we heard that this sale was actually beginning to take place. I showed you on the screen other things that were actually for sale, and there were some really crazy records. Created by artist and engineer Francisco Alarcon, or FAR. Okay. Genesis Cat is part of the Quantum Cats collection, produced by Taproot Wizards. Apparently, it was estimated that it was going to sell for $15,000, and it ended up selling for $254,000 US. With over 50 bids, Genesis Cat by @0xfar from Taproot Wizards has achieved an impressive. It sold for 6.31 Bitcoin, 12 times over the estimate. There were also, what I really want to know is, for those of you who missed that auction, there were a number of people selling Satoshis. Like, so not a whole Bitcoin, like a literal Satoshi, and some of them had bids of like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So I wonder how much those ended up selling for. For those of you who don't know the significance, a lot of people have been hunting down the coins that Satoshi Nakamoto himself mined, as he is this like mythical figurehead within the space. If he mined something, the thing that he created, people want those coins, but a lot of these things are now fragmented into Satoshis. So people are literally collecting these Satoshis en masse, sometimes taking one of them, writing something on them, or making a piece of art on top of it as an ordinal NFT, and they're selling for a rather impressive amount of money. Yeah, like I told you, the news was going to be all over the place today, as there's a lot of really weird, wacky stuff happening in the market right now. I do think that's going to do it for this video. There's nothing else that that I have in my mind that I was thinking of saying. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.